So the one thing they did here was they let us just listen to MJF because why not? At least it's entertaining.
Now, this was against the president's speech, President Biden announcing why he wasn't going to run again. Also in the Northeast, Mets versus Yankees. I mean, it's a national game, but Mets versus Yankees on ESPN. So, an interesting spot to put MJF.
Well, they probably weren't. I don't think they knew when they formatted the show that the presidential address was going to take place, but they probably could have checked on the game. But what the f? Anybody that wants to watch a real sport is probably not going to want to watch this program. So MJF came out after the package of him and Osprey last week and the 59-58 Classic and the title change and blah, blah, blah. He comes out with a dozen cheerleaders. And I mean, I can't even, it's an MJF promo. I can't tell you the things, the zingers or the topics he covered or whatever. But early on, the fans were chanting, "Shut the fuck up," over and over, and it was not muted. They didn't mute the whole thing. They didn't try to dip in and get the fuck. But then later on, when he told Will Ospreay to burn your shitty indie kick pads, they censored shitty. So 6 fucks earlier were okay, but shitty was a no-no. And then, good Lord, he doesn't give a shit. It said Ospreay's grandmother died, and now after he gets finished with him, he can dig a grave for himself next to her, but go 100 yards away because that fat skank needs all the room she can get.
Yeah, it got really stiff really quick, didn't it?
It escalated quickly.
It's a big one, yeah. It's a big jump.
It's big jump there. And then he called Ospreay out if he doesn't like it, do something about it. Of course, that's when the announcers reminded us, well, his car was sabotaged. It had to be MJF that did that. Keep him out of here. And then MJF renames the international title to fit his superiority. He threw the old belt in a very conveniently placed garbage can and then unveiled the new American Championship title belt. And we're not talking about Nashville or any place like that. We're talking about real America, Plainview, Long Island, New York. And the belt is red, white, and blue. So at least he's going to get heat off having this stupid fucking belt that he has had redone that nobody gave a shit about because it's one of 100, but his will stand out because he's got it. It's red, white, and blue, and he's going to make something out of it. And I mean, he'll get heat off of the fact that people will hate the belt. And then as soon as it finished with "God bless your American hero, MJF," did you hear the fan yell as clear as day, "Go back to Poughkeepsie"?
I did not hear that, no.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. As soon as "God bless your American hero, MJF," go back to Poughkeepsie. Because nobody knows where Plainview is, but they've heard of Poughkeepsie. And then they play the patriotic music and the red, white, and blue streamers fall and a United States flag falls with MJF's face in place of the stars. And, here's this whole big fucking rigmarole. And then Ospreay runs into the ring then and chases MJF out. And then here we go. Ospreay said something that was censored. And then said asshole that wasn't, and then said dick that was censored, and then revealed the news that he met with Tony Khan and Christopher Daniels, which now bear that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Khan and Christopher Daniels are around and they're calling some shots. They can do some things here. And the rematch between MJF and Will Ospreay is going to be at Wembley Stadium. Imagine, surprise, surprise. And Ospreay's promo voice with that accent and when he's trying to sound mad and mean, it sounds like a guy trying to shed a basketball, doesn't it?
I got a mouthful of crackers, bro.
Lord Fogg. And then he got the international belt out of the trash can and left with it, so they're going to have the Battle of the Belts, I guess, at Wembley.
This is bizarre on a number of levels. First of all, again, he's now the garbage picker champion. He took the belt out of the garbage can. Again, that was just such a weird ending to this. He looked at it like, oh, my old belt that was just thrown in the trash. For MJF, who's clearly reestablishing himself as a heel and doing a really good job based on crowd reactions, and last week based on ratings too, the idea that he's going to be a heel by being patriotic, it's a little weird, isn't it?
Well, but
against our dreaded enemy, because Cody couldn't finish off a go-go, England is still our dreaded enemy. What is the feud exactly over?
Well, they're taking little bits and shreds of things. I think they're obviously trying to do some American thing versus the UK with Ospreay and MJF. But at the same time, the MJF is trying to salvage some logic out of this, it looks like to me, by saying, I'm not talking about Nashville, America, or the redneck America. I'm talking about Plainview, because I think if I didn't know better, I'd say he's having the America, England, red, white, and blue belt thing kind of put upon him. So he's trying to explain it in some kind of way that will still get some heat. But I think just because he's got it and it's bullshit and he renamed the belt, I think he'll get some heat with it. As much as we were discussing, it's easier for a heel to get heat by having the number 2 world title belt in WWE than it is a babyface trying to get that over on a par with the number 1 belt.
What do you prefer, American Championship or America's Championship? Because we had both in wrestling history.
Well, yes, because in California, it was the Americas, North and South America. They were in apostrophe S. But in Dallas, it was American, because you were the American champion. I think he ought to be the goddamn... Hold on here. I'm trying to say this. If he could do a goddamn takeoff on that People's Championship belt and maybe be the Citizens Champion or the...
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good.
That might be even more fucking weaselly for somebody like MJF, but nevertheless...
It'd be funny because Tony will spend the money if every week he ditches the belt for a new belt.
Just a new belt every week.
Yeah, I've decided I'm now this champion. Let's change the championship again. It's already had 2 different names. Why not?
But anyway, Lee, we get another match between MJF and Ospreay at Wembley, and I would have to think that one is going to have the most appeal to those folks over there.
Guest referee Daniel Garcia.
I don't know if that'll have a lot of appeal.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe a moldy banana peel.
So when did he meet with Tony Khan and Christopher Daniels? Was it before he took Alex Marvez's car, or was it right before this promo? Was it?
Well, see, the hotel is only apparently 3 minutes driving through downtown Nashville to get there, and then another 2 minutes to jump in and run out and everything, because he managed to make it by this point in the interview. But he had to hurry because Chris Daniels, by the time that Ospreay walked back to the entranceway with the discarded title belt, Daniels had already got the shit kicked out of him in the back by the Elite, and were laying at their feet. The effete of the Elite. So it was very opportune timing there. Can we go to the next part of the amateur hour?
Marvez grew up a wrestling fan. He had a newsletter. Obviously, wrestling is one of the things that caused his relationship with Tony Khan to grow past football. How are you this bad on screen if you grew up watching it?
Because some people just don't need to be on television. They're either boring, or they're quiet and inhibited and nervous, or they're overly phony and stagey, because not every one of us can be De Niro or Streep. Some people, you should not hear a peep from them.